The Lions are on to the NFC Championship, and there is nobody, literally nobody better to frame it for us. Mike Stone, Stoney and Jansen, 97-1, 6-10. He is an institution, a radio legend, 30-plus years in the city of Detroit. There was a great article, actually, about Stoney in the Detroit News recently. So here's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to get out of the way, and you just tell us, like, what's the vibes? How does it feel? Just continue to talk. Go.
Hey, Patrick, you of all people cannot believe that the sentence that I'm going to say. The Lions are 60 minutes from going to the Super Bowl.
No words. No words.
It's something that most people thought they'd never see in their lifetime. Most of us haven't. I was around, and I was actually working in television, and I was at the last time they were in the NFC Championship game against the Redskins in the end of the 91 season. But this is unfreaking believable. They had the worst roster 3 years ago. They were 3-13-1, had a nice finish to last year, but nobody thought that they would be where they are right now. It's incredible. The city is going bananas, and it's been an unbelievable few weeks. If my memory is correct, sorry, Amal, that Michigan won the national championship, but, you know, it's incredible. It is freaking incredible what's going on in this town football-wise right now.
First of all, Stoney, congratulations. Wolverines had a great season, but the Lions have supplanted that this year. We were talking a little bit earlier about just what it means and quantifying it, but tell me now why they're going to go to Santa Clara and win.
Well, if you would ask me 3 weeks ago, I would have said they're not going to win. And I know it's recency bias, and I know weather had something to do with it, and Debo got hurt. But for the first time, because early in the season, I thought it was the 49ers and everybody else, including my hometown Philadelphia Eagles. Then I thought it was, okay, it's San Francisco and Baltimore and everyone else. And I still think that, but for the first time Saturday night, correct me if I'm wrong, boys, the 49ers looked somewhat vulnerable. I still think they're obviously, and they are where you are, the favorites, and they should be, and chances are they'll win the game. But I do think the Lions have a shot, which I never would have thought a few weeks ago.
What's
and the
crazy,
reason is they have the best their offensive line is incredible, and it sets up everything. And Ragnow, as you saw, is playing like a beast. Penei Sewell's the best right tackle in the football in the NFL right now. Sorry, Lane Johnson. And Goff is just being really, really good. And they have creative play calling. Sometimes they get too cute. And, yeah, their defense, especially their secondary, kind of blows. But they've been able to bend, not break, and not give up a crap load of points.
Were you? I was terrified. I thought Baker 90 yards to go, a minute to go. Like, how did you feel? I genuinely thought they were going to score.
No, I thought they would hold. And I'm usually the most pessimistic. And if you're a Lions fan, you have to be pessimistic. I thought they would hold out. I really did. I didn't expect Derek Barnes to make the play of his life, considering he whiffed on the Prescott sack the Saturday night game. It was on the 95-yard CeeDee Lamb play. That would have been a safety, and the Lions probably would have won that game. But, no, I kind of thought they would bend, not break, and they've been – against the Rams last week, they were real good in the red zone. Not as much yesterday, obviously, but I didn't think they were going to screw this up.
Stoney, you covered the team. Tell us how the team responds to Dan Campbell, players you've talked to, what their thoughts are about him, and then what's probably the one thing that has stood out to you in a positive way about Dan Campbell, and you see why this team is 60 minutes from the Super Bowl.
Well, it's the same answer to both your questions. He's real. He's, everybody, when he was hired, the whole kneecap thing, but he's not a fake. He's enthusiastic. He drives them. People in the city around the country, they love him. And the players love him. And the staff, because most of the guys on that staff played in the National Football League. And the players relate to him. He's honest with them. I'm sure behind closed doors, he gives them crap. But he instilled this belief in this team. And it's taken, probably shorter than they would like to admit, because I think that's why they didn't make some more significant moves at the trading deadline. That they didn't think they were this close. But man, oh man, he could run for mayor right now and win easily. The funniest thing is women who don't even know enough about football. Everybody loves Dan Campbell. My wife's aunt, who's 90 years old, we visited her in Florida, and she said, Michael, I don't know much. I hardly ever watch the Lions, but I love Dan Campbell. Everybody loves the guy because he's real.
He's authentic. You're right. There is an authenticity about him. Mike Stone, radio legend in Detroit, framing the Lions on their way to a championship game. I can't believe I'm saying it. Is there a sense? I really can't. Is there a sense they need to capital? They're going to lose Johnson, maybe Glenn potentially. Is there a sense that they got to capitalize now because there's going to be changes next year?
Well, they don't want to suffer what Philadelphia had with losing two coordinators, but they might. You ask most of the fans, and they're pretty much okay with losing Glenn, although I think it's more of a lack of talent, as we talked about in the secondary, than actually the scheme. He's trying to do anything with what they have in the back of that defense. Ben Johnson, they're going to miss. But a lot of it is also Dan Campbell's imprint on the offense. It's not all Ben Johnson. I mean, he's really, really good, but he did some things yesterday. I mean, like in the first half, and where Goff got sacked, it's 3rd and 1, and you're running shotgun empty, and you get sacked. You got Montgomery, you got Gibbs. Run the frickin' ball, or at least have a running back there so you think going to run the ball and do a play action. Conversely, on the Reynolds touchdown Craig Reynolds, when he went for it on 4th and 1, that was a great play because if you're Tampa said, Craig Reynolds in there, he's a blocking guy. They're not going to run the ball. They're just going to throw it, and they gave him the ball, and he scored. So, yeah, Ben Johnson's really, really good, but sometimes they get a little too cute.
Stoney, if Detroit had to play Philadelphia, who would you have pulled for?
Oh, stop.
The Lions.
The oldest bit in the world. It's the Lions. Because the Eagles, it's weird. Most people would always stick with their hometown. But I've been here since 1986.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And, so I've had more than half of my old life has been here. And not so much this regime because of the job being in the morning and stuff. I don't get to go to practice that much because I got to take naps, stay awake in the morning. But I don't know the players as well. But, in the back in the days when I made that, not a decision, it's just things like that happen naturally. When you know the players, when you know the coaches, when you're around the organization, I don't know anybody from Philadelphia. I mean, I remember '97 when the Flyers and the Wings played in the Stanley Cup Finals. The late Sean Burr said, "Who are you going to root for?" He said, I'll just let it happen naturally. Because let me ask you a question: if the Flyers win, would you be able to drink from the Stanley Cup? I said, no. He goes, well, if we win, we will. You will. I said, no, that's a good point. And I did.
What's wild? I can't, Stoney. I literally can't because. You've done it for 30 years, you and Woj and the crew, but it's just been a bit. It's been shtick. The futility has been shtick. Yeah. It just feels weird that they're actually good. This is wild.
I know. It's amazing. We started this morning's show. I said, I can't believe I'm saying this. They're 60 minutes from going to the Super Bowl. Forgetting about winning it, just getting there. I mean, for all, as you know, Patrick, for years, one playoff win since 1957. Well, you can check that box. They've never won 2 playoff games in the same season. You can check that box. Now, they've been to an NFC championship game before and played a decent first half, and the Redskins just smoked them. But, yeah, I mean, the craziest thing is they are, and you see the back headline of the New York Post today on the back page, obviously the Taylor Swift and all the Chiefs-Bills thing got but on the banner at the top, it said the real America's team, Buffalo Lions. And that's what they are. There's not one person on this team that you can sit there, I don't like him. Maybe, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson because he talks a lot of smack. But that's it. Now, in the society we live in, if this keeps up where they're really good for 2 or 3 years, people get sick of Dan Campbell. Just like people get sick of Patrick Mahomes, which I don't understand. But, after a while, people got sick of Tom Brady. It's just the way we are. But right now, it's unbelievable. They are America's team. They're America's underdog, and it's great.
I got 20 seconds. Are you going to be in Vegas if they advance?
I would like to. I think so, but I'm not 100% sure. By the way, one of the highlights yesterday was seeing our boy Derek Stevens in his suite. They flew out 1 a.m. Vegas time yesterday morning, Saturday night, and then they flew back after the game. It was great.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.